Hello everyone, Andrew here. Welcome back to Leading Our Own Way here on YouTube. Tonight I'm bringing you something really special, a conversation with the singer-songwriter Thea Lissi. And I strongly advise that you go and subscribe to her channel on Spotify and Apple. Amazing. Anyway, Thea Lissi, she's left me speechless at times. We're talking about how music becomes medicine, how pain transforms into purpose, and why leading with intention isn't just a nice idea. It's essential for healing. Thea's story of using songwriting as a therapy and creative expression as a lifeline is going to resonate with so many of you. This is part of one of part 4 series here on YouTube, and trust me, you're going to want to stick around for it all week here. Melbourne time, 8:30. Go and check that. I think that 8:30 is about 11:30 a.m. UK. The rest of the world, you have to sort it out. I'm English and I'm in Australia. Anyway, here's part 1 with Thea and myself. Make sure you listen to the trailer. It's only about 40 seconds, and we'll be right back with Thea and myself. Enjoy. Welcome to Leading Our Own Way. I'm your host, Andrew White, and this is the podcast that unveils captivating narratives of resilience and personal triumph. This podcast is for anyone seeking inspiration and insights on overcoming life's challenges. Follow and subscribe, and then we can lead together forever.
The songs you said you did, but you didn't write. The gifts you said you buy, but you didn't buy. The lies you told, looking dead in my eyes, like a tattoo you can't hide. There you go.
Beautiful. Welcome, Thea Lissi. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
I'm great. I'm even better now I heard that live on premiering on Leading Our Own Way.
Yes.
To everyone, I asked Thea if she would sing for us coming in, because we've never done anything like that before. So I really appreciate you doing that. That was awesome. Tell everybody what you just sang.
That was a little bit of the chorus for my song Permanent Ink, which is my most recent release. Yeah. So I hope you
Beautiful.
like it if you get to go listen to it.
I'll put everything in the show notes for everyone to go and get your
Yes.
albums and stuff like that and your
Awesome.
songs. Yeah, it's beautiful. I've been listening to a lot of your music since we last met. We've been meaning to do this a few times, and I got ill, so I apologise about that. And the family got ill,
Yeah.
and
It
then we
happens.
had to. It does, yeah, and I apologise. But thank you so much for joining me on my journey on the podcast, Leading Our Own Way. It's been an absolute pleasure. Yeah, it's just such an honour to
Yeah.
have you on the show. And I've been so excited to meet you again.
Yeah, and thank you for having me come on. I really appreciate it, and I'm excited to, share my journey. So,
Yeah. You have, speaking of journeys, that's obviously what the podcast is all about. And you've been on one hell of a journey. I was taken a little bit back from, when we had the pre-chat. It's, if you could wrap up your journey in a couple of words before we get into it, what words would you use, do you think?
hmm. Pain into purpose, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's a good way to explain my life.
For sure. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. The double P alliteration. I like it. Um,
Yeah.
so what I normally do is start in here at the beginning of the podcast. The title is obviously, as you know, Leading Our Own Way. The reason why I call it that is because over my own journey, and it's crystal clear, we all see the same thing, but we probably all feel it differently. Whatever we see, we all feel and think about it differently than the next person, which means I think, we all live in a different way. We all live with purpose in a different way, and we all lead with a different way in purpose. And when I say lead, it doesn't mean leadership in a business or an office type thing, but just we lead our own purpose in a different way than the next person.
Yeah.
I think it's a good way to start. How would you consider that you're leading your own way now then, Thea?
I think I'm leading my own way by doing something that's different than what I was shown or taught, which is to, I was taught to suppress feelings
Mm,
and to pretend it didn't happen and not to talk about it. And instead, I'm leading with intentional conversations and actually challenging myself to feel and talk about the things that I went through and not just suppress them anymore because, that didn't do me any good. And then not only that, but I guess also turning that into art, whether that is music or poetry or dance and movement. And so I think that's at least how I'm trying to lead and aiming to lead my life.
yeah, and that's a good point, because I don't feel that we make it do we? We don't
Yeah.
reach our destination until we leave this world, and that's such
Yeah.
a powerful thing that I said in a speech not long ago. I might not be fixed, but I'm also not broken.
Yeah.
And just
That's
because
so true.
it is true, right? And I, I I went through a hell of a time. You've been through a hell of a time. It doesn't mean we won't enter another hell of a time, but I feel
Yeah.
like we'll be better prepared for it, right?
Absolutely. I've heard a great saying that someone said once, and it was, you can be healed and healing. And I feel like that's very true with what you just said too, where it's like, it's a process, it's a journey,
Mm.
and it's never ending. So it's like, you could be fixed and but not broken, or however it is that you said it. And
Yeah.
it's all a part of it. We're humans.
Yeah, and I think we're always on a journey of looking to be fixed. But I think if we get into the mindset, I'll never be fixed. I'm just not going to be
Yeah.
broken anymore.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's good. All right. So, how would you say? Tell us a little bit about what you're doing then to help contribute to leading your own way. Let's start with some of your music and why you got into music, because it's amazing and people should definitely tune in. And you're doing some wonderful things in that area, and it just looks fantastic. I've got 1,000 pictures I probably could share. Probably won't get through them all, but yeah, talk to us a little bit about your music.
Yeah, so basically, I had started doing music not until I was 29. Ironically, I didn't even think I could sing before that, and then I was going through a divorce, and so I was trying to find myself, and because I had just really lost who I was in that relationship, and so I started writing again, and then that led me to try to sing, and because I wanted to have an outlet, and so it kind of became a form of therapy for me, and so I started writing and releasing music, um and then people really resonated with that, and it made me not feel alone, I guess, in like my struggles and the things I was going through. But I also loved hearing from other people that they didn't feel alone, like that they resonated with my story and that that was helping them. And so that's where I really started to feel like, okay, this is the part of my purpose, and it makes me feel like I didn't go through all of these things for nothing. If it can help someone else, then it's like, okay, I don't want to relive it, but at least it has a bigger meaning, something bigger than me.
Yeah, that's
So
amazing.
that's kind of the gist of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and at 29 too. I mean, that gives me hope still, I suppose. Not that I'm 29, but I always, you're growing up, you always sing in your bedroom thinking you've got thousands of people in
Yeah.
front of you. And then yours comes true. Yours started at 29. You're living your
Yeah.
childhood dream, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently, because whenever I was younger, we were homeschooled, and I'm one of 11 kids. So it's like, you get bored, and, we would act out skits and things like that. And I apparently used to always be the one that would be pretending to be like a superstar singer, and I'd have my siblings be my backup dancers or something. So I just always loved to perform. So I guess it is part of my childhood dream, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. That's incredible. I know for sure I can't sing though. I can dance, or I used to be able to dance, that's for sure, but
Yeah.
definitely can't sing. I try. I think I sound good in the car to myself, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
You never know.
Yeah, yeah, I hit a high note, and to me it sounds good, but everyone else that can see their eyes go, the family are like, don't do that again.
Like just yeah.
So, for those who haven't heard your music, what type of music do you sing? And I actually said before, guys, whoever's listening, I said to Thea one of my favorite songs, and she's like, "Oh, I've not thought about that song in a long time."
Yes,
What, what,
yeah.
what type of music do you sing?
So I used to do R&B and pop, which the song that you said was your favorite, that was one of my, like, I guess, R&B influenced songs, You and I, which I do still love those songs, but my music has definitely evolved since then. And so
Mm,
now I'm more, I guess, country pop, soul, mix is the lane.
yeah,
And they're all a little different. Every song has like a bit of a different influence depending on the song, but that's the box that distribution puts it in, at least.
yeah.
So
And your music and your words that you create and put into your songs, is there a story behind them? Do they connect somehow to your life? Are they? Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's the best
Oh
way
yeah.
to ask it.
Like, I mean, yeah, every song that I write is either something I'm either living through, have lived through, or I've like recently I wrote a song that for a girl that I had met that lost her mom to cancer, and like I've lost a parent but not in that way. And so I didn't live through it, but it was just like I resonated with her pain, and I wanted to write something for people who had gone through that. So sometimes it's, not necessarily fully my story, but it's something that I relate to in a different way, or I can empathize with. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I just come up as you were talking, then I came up with an idea. Whenever we're talking about certain points of your life, maybe you should interject and tell us the song that connects to that particular part of your journey.
Oh, okay, yeah, absolutely.
That's different, and it just popped into my head then
Yeah,
as you were
I'll
saying
aim
it.
to do that then. Yeah,
Yeah, let's do it. That'd be cool.
yeah.
That'd be very cool. And then that way people can go and when they
Look for
listen to it, they'll feel something behind it, connect, knowing
yeah,
that they've heard these words on the podcast.
yeah, yeah. I love that idea.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so that song then with the memory to that person, that child, who, what song was that called? Then that's connected.
So that one actually, I haven't released it.
Oh,
I literally just wrote it in Nashville, and I want to. It's called Waiting Room, and it
waiting
kind
room.
of just takes you through the journey of, because she was telling me about how difficult it was when she was taking care of her mom, when like her mom eventually passed, but the process of taking care of her whenever she had gotten really sick, um, and so then me and one of my friends, Joe, in Nashville, we had to write the next day. And so I was like, I really feel like strongly about what her story. And like I was crying in Bar Taco, in Nashville. And I'm like in public, like just listening to her just tell her story. And it would just like touch me because I was thinking, man, I can't imagine that. And so we wrote about that journey of like being in the waiting room, and then after they pass, feeling like life is the waiting room for you to see them again or to like be out of that pain. And so I hope to release it one day. But yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, no, I love that. Well, wait for that one. Yeah, that's cool. I love that. I love the connection behind it.
Yeah.
So the latest release is called Permanent Ink, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
What does that connect before we get into it in your
Yeah.
journey? How does that connect to your journey then?
So that song I had actually wrote 4 years ago, about 4 years ago, or right closer to the beginning of when I was writing music, and I didn't release it or finish it until last year, or finish writing it till last year, released it
Mhm.
recently. And but it was about a relationship, which apparently is like a type that I have, is people who say things and don't do them. But so it was this horrible relationship that I actually wrote You and I about. Your favorite is also about him. Um, and I've written a lot of songs, so I guess I like owe him, I don't know, some kind of royalties
What?
or something for all the heartache he gave me. But
Shouldn't laugh. Shouldn't laugh about that. I'm only laughing
no.
because you're laughing.
I have to. I give you permission. It's fine.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it was about that, and it was just like I love this song because I feel like in relationships, if they're abusive or they do these really horrible things, it's so easy to communicate or to explain the kind of pain and like what you're going through. But I feel like in a relationship like this, where it's not necessarily these big hallmark, type things, but it's just the things that they didn't do, not that they did, that really left a mark. And then it makes it really hard to explain the pain and the betrayal and the grief and everything, because like how do you even explain that when it's like it's not what they did, it's what they didn't do, and it's all the empty promises and the void and the hope that you had that it would change or that they'd finally pull through with, what they said. But it's like sometimes they say they love you, but they show you that they don't. And it's hard to see that sometimes. So
Yeah, absolutely. And what would you say is the most painful song that you've written, and how is it connected? I know we're going to get into it. I
yeah,
do, but I just
yeah,
feel like it's the right time to ask that question.
yeah. I feel like out of the ones that are out, like released into the world, I would
Yeah,
say is Little White House.
and you,
That's yeah, the one that for me is it was really hard for me to release as well because it's about my dad and my childhood, and you know um and I knew my family would feel some type of way about me exposing the truth, the reality.
yeah.
So that one definitely was.
I had a
Yeah.
feeling. I had a feeling from our pre-chat. I had a feeling you were going to say that, you know. So when
Yeah.
we get up to that point, yeah, interject and remind us where the little white house comes into play, because
Okay.
I think that's I think it's a powerful part of your journey for sure.
Yeah.
Um, you do some other outside of the music though. You do a few other things as well, don't you? Let's go into
Yeah.
that before we get into your journey, because you're doing some other wonderful things with the Thea's Dance Academy.
Yes, yeah. So I also own a dance studio. We just finished year 10, which is wild.
Wow.
It's like flew by, I guess. And so yeah, I do that. We have like competition and recitals every year, and I have like a couple hundred students, so in full staff, and I really get to explore that passion and pour into the kids, which I love because dance was always a healing place for me growing up, and an outlet that I don't know how I would have. I don't know how to say it, but like I don't know how I would have coped with everything that was going on in my life as a kid without that outlet growing
Yeah.
up. Even the years that we couldn't afford to go, it's like I would just dance in my room or, wherever I was. And so it's kind of cool to have that now and be able to create that safe space for kids to do the same, and to just express themselves. So.
Yeah. And did you always sing? Sorry, did you always dance before started singing at
y-
29?
Yes, yeah. So I've danced since I was 2. I started at the age of 2, like 2.5, I guess I was. Yeah. And it was on and off because like some years we couldn't, my parents couldn't afford it. And then obviously, whenever I got into high school ages, I don't know how much of my story I can say now without it getting confusing, but my dad went to prison, and so then we couldn't afford it then. And
Yeah.
so it was just on and off a lot of years, but for the most part, since I was 2.
Yeah, wow. Such a long time then. So that was your first love before singing. Now you can put them both put them together.
Yes.
I
Yep.
love it.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be Justin Timberlake's backup dancer.
Yeah. There's still hope.
There's still, yeah. I don't think he wants
He's still touring.
I don't think he wants an old 41-year-old behind him dancing anymore. I mean, he can do it and
You
he's older
never
than me,
know.
so.
Yeah, you never know.
Oh yeah, I tried. I met him in Manchester once, and he kind of stumped. He's I still love him. Don't get me wrong, but he was like, I can. It was quiet, and he walked past me. I was like, I went to your show last night, Justin. Can I get a photo? And he went, not today, mate. And I went, fuck. It's my one chance to get a photo with Justin. Anyway,
Oh man.
I was so gutted. I was devastated.
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought about that then when it came up.
He must have been having a bad day, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It was going into an expensive store, so I assumed it was going to get a little bit better if it was. So,
Yeah,
um,
true. Yeah.
so how did you get into? There was a story behind how you found out you were that you could sing.
Yeah, so I basically I went on this retreat, a lost resort, and it was like a healing retreat and all of that, and did a lot of alternative methods of therapy and like indigenous things, whatever. And one of the girls that was there with us was a singer. Her name is Miko, and I guess I was singing with them in the pool one day, and she was like, "Girl, you can sing," and no one had ever said that to me before. I guess I would sing around, just in my house or whatever, but no one ever said anything, so I just assumed it wasn't good. And so then she asked me to go dance in her music video, and in exchange, she was like, "I want you to like have some studio time with my producer, as a thank you for dancing in the music video." So that's whenever I recorded my song "Ready Now," and then I was like, "Oh, that wasn't so bad," and started doing it as an expensive hobby, and yeah.
That is an expensive hobby.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Well, it
Oh,
paid off, didn't it? Paid off.
yeah, or hopefully it will. It's like it still doesn't pay, but it's hopefully one day. But at least I get to do it, you know, full time, I guess, in some sense. So that to me is a payoff. To
Yeah. So with connecting to I want to come back to the healing retreat that you went on, and probably dig deep to why you went onto it, because I think that probably gets us into your journey in a good way. But what do you do to practice? I don't know. how you heal now? Is there a routine that you have? Is there something that you do to set yourself up? Because we're always going to go through those waves of life, aren't we? We
Yeah.
might enter another relationship that might not work out. We just don't know. And we said it before in the well, at the beginning of the episode, so we have to be able to be ready for these storms. Now we've got that wisdom, I suppose, and we can sometimes take the emotion out of the experience, which that I feel is the
Yeah.
equation for wisdom. What do you do? I know this is a long-winded question, but what do you do to set yourself up now to prepare yourself more in a better way for the day? Let's say.
And I try to like start each day with before I actually get into work. I have like a pile of books over there that, I'll read and at least do a little bit, even if I don't have time or like I'm not in the mood to fully dig in, then I try to do that like each morning. And that's like a part of my routine. And then or I'll listen to a podcast or, something along those lines. Or some mornings, yeah, like this
Leading our
one.
own way.
Right. And yeah, so it's like that's a great start. And or sometimes I'll write music, just it depends on the day, but I feel like most days in the morning it's like that's part of my routine is I kind of like open a book, read something that will help challenge me for that day. Um and before I even get on social media or my phone because that's a whole rabbit hole that as a
Mm,
society we can get drawn into and then not get out of. So yeah,
yeah.
that's like my main thing, I guess, is that. And I'm not always great at it, but I try.
For sure, yeah. The social media thing is something that comes up on most of my podcasts and technology devices, especially with children. But has it been a problem? I mean, look, we're in an industry where we need to promote ourselves, right?
Yeah,
And I talk about the detrimental effects, especially to children. But even as adults, I found we're not very present and we're not very even self-reflective anymore because we just consider that, well, everyone's doing it, must be normal. But we don't.
yeah.
People don't seem to understand the impacts of the physiology, the brain, and things like that. Has it been a problem for you? Has it been
Oh yeah.
a rabbit hole?
It is. It's like, and I find, like lately, for instance, I've been worse at it because I go through phases where like I'm alone a lot.
Mm,
And so it's like I'm home and right now it's summertime. So it's like I don't have classes every single night, so I'm not forced out of the house or to like be around people. And I'm a single mom. I don't really like all my friends are married and have kids, so it's not like they're, inviting me to go hang out with them and go to dinner, and be the fifth wheel or whatever.
yeah,
So yeah, so I end up like getting sucked into that like routine of just, being on my phone too much, and I've noticed how it like affects my mental health a lot, and then I
yeah,
have to just prioritize leaving the house, going to the gym, or even if I'm tired or whatever it is, just to get out of that habit. So yeah,
yeah. With the things you've been through and the relationships that you've been through, I know it'll become very clear soon. Um, do you because like I don't know where I'm going with this, but do you find that having that social media, because look, you're present with what you do,
yeah,
people see you dance and putting that experience. Do you struggle um meeting people? Because obviously you're seeking connection. We all seek a
yeah,
connection as a human
yeah.
being. Do you struggle with who to accept to enter into your life, if that makes
Yes. Oh
sense?
yeah. Yeah. I feel like just in general it's like I don't know how to say this without it like not sounding wrong, but there's like unless you meet people just organically, like going somewhere and you just meet them through a friend or whatever, it's very difficult to meet people because you'll have the certain people will message me, on social media, but it's it's
You
like
can say
not
it.
people that I would want to entertain. Like their purpose in messaging me is obviously not genuine or not, I guess is
Yeah,
the best way to put it.
yeah,
And then it's like the people that you would probably actually connect with, whether that's friendship or relationally, don't. And I always hear that they're like, oh, you probably get like so many people reaching out to you or so many, like whatever. And I really don't. because they all think the same thing, that I'm just getting a million of these messages when I
Mm.
really don't. I just get some from people that I don't want them from, and then,
Sure.
it's like that, or creepers, or whatever. So yeah, and I'm not like on dating apps, or I have girlfriends that meet even other girlfriends on, like, I guess there's some app for that too, that where you can meet friends, and I'm not on any of that. So I guess that makes it very difficult.
But that's the thing; it shouldn't be difficult because that's how we used to do it. We just, make a fool of
Yeah,
ourselves in front of a girl and have a laugh, and it's organic,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Or I hate to say it, but the bar or the pub or wherever you
yeah,
go,
yeah,
or in the street at the shops, if it's that organic way, at least it's through connection and the energy that you're feeling in the moment,
yeah,
rather than where can you have the energy? Because if you don't feel it there in the moment, in the present, you don't even bother going on a date. Whereas
yeah,
that is the first meet nowadays, is
yeah,
that first date, and to me, that's a waste because how
yeah,
do you even know? Like, how do
yeah,
you even know you want to go on a date with that person? But you have to
yeah.
start by a date because it's through the
Yeah.
phone.
And
It's
it gives me
crazy.
so much anxiety to even think about it,
Oh,
because
I'm
I'm like,
sorry.
well, what if it? No, I mean, like, that's why I don't like really date, is because the thought of even going on a date, if I don't already know that I'm gonna connect with them,
Yeah.
is like gives me so much anxiety, because I'm just like, oh God, I don't want to be in a position where like I feel stuck, and which is probably trauma in itself. But
Connected to your journey, yeah, for sure. No,
yeah,
I think it's sort of, I don't even know how. Yeah, it would be weird for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
With your healing retreat, then, what was the purpose of going on that healing retreat?
So I had gotten reached out to by one of the people who like puts it on, and they had mentioned that it was just a bunch of, like, I guess, indigenous ceremonies and alternative, like, methods of therapy, and at this point I had already left my now ex-husband, but then we had gotten back together and we were trying to make it work, and I thought, okay, maybe if, like, I found healing from everything that happened, like, as a child and all of that, then maybe I could, like, make this work, like, because I felt like I wasn't able to accept that he was really changing. I just kept feeling like he was doing it to be manipulative or whatever, And so I was like, well, maybe that's just me needing to heal. And because my dad never changed, now I believe, men can't change. And so I was just willing to give anything a shot at that point. And so I went on it, with that mindset, like, okay, maybe if I find this healing and heal from this childhood stuff, then I can move forward, and not knowing that he would end up coming on the retreat
Yeah.
midway through. So, and then that kind of changed things. But
Yeah. Sorry there, everybody. I have to edit this part, guys, because I like to be vulnerable here, Thea, just so you
yeah,
know. But I'm telling
yeah.
everybody I just have to edit because my dog starts rattling around the house. I should have probably kept it on so everyone could hear it. Could you hear it? Because that was annoying me.
I could hear it, yeah, but it wasn't too loud. But yeah.
It was doing my hitting right on the wooden floor just here.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah,
back to the episode, everyone. So yeah, no, thanks for sharing that part of the journey because it is important that we're vulnerable because it creates a safe space for everybody else to be vulnerable, and that's the whole point. But you said at the beginning of the episode around your family. Is family the right word? I
yeah.
didn't want to isolate parents or anyone like that, but family pretended that things didn't happen. Sorry. Where would we begin then in your journey where the things that would be covered up started in your journey?
I mean, as long as I can remember, honestly.
Join us tomorrow to hear more from today's incredible guests and learn valuable insights to help you lead your own way. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you then.